How's it going, everybody? My name is Absoulem and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be covering the easiest way to beat the Outbreak Easter egg on solo. And just so you know, everything is timestamped below in case you need to skip around later on. This can be a very difficult Easter egg, but if you follow my strat, you should be able to get this completed with no problem. So let's get started with the loadout that you should start with. So at this point, I've tested out many different guns and field upgrades as well as AATs against the boss, and I can honestly say this is the easiest class to go with. So I would recommend for your weapon to use the M16. Now, as far as attachments, you don't have to copy exactly what I have. However, this is what I find to be the best for this weapon. But if you don't have your weapon leveled up, that's okay. This weapon is still really good against the boss, and it's going to do just fine with whatever attachments you have. However, I would recommend the Vision 2x optic. That is a really good optic for this Easter egg. And as for field upgrade, I absolutely recommend Ether Shroud. It's going to make your life a lot easier. So now let's talk about the AAT for your weapon. I've tested almost every single one against the boss, and honestly, Brain Rot just helps the most in this boss fight. Not only does it deal toxic damage, but it also turns the enemies friendly, and that helps you build up your field upgrade during the boss fight while you're actually focusing on the boss, and that way you don't have to focus on the giant horde that's chasing you. It's absolutely recommended for this. Okay, once you're in a game, you're going to need to progress to World 3, which means that you have 3 maps to get mostly set up. By World 3, you want to have your M16 to at least Tier 2 and Pack-a-Punched once, as well as around 4 perks and your armor to level 2. Obviously, try to get as set up as possible, but that's the bare minimum. Now to do this, you'll need to be doing every single side objective in each world, and also looting as much as possible. This section of the Easter egg is definitely the most important, so try and get as leveled up as high as you can and collect as much scrap and salvage as possible. The RNG of this game can sometimes be stacked up against you later on, which is why I'm recommending that you loot every map up until World 3 to have an advantage over the game. This way, no matter how your game plays out or which challenges you get, you'll always be set up. And with that being said, I want to make it very clear that you don't have to go into every single house or look under every single rock. The main thing I want to get across right now is that you want to do every side mission, open up any chest that you might see or hear, break any crystals along the way in hopes that you get some more scrap, and then most importantly, if you see the Ether Crystal Challenge, it looks like a bunch of rocks on an orange triangle, do this to level up your gun for free. This will help you out so much and speed up the progress of the game so you don't have to keep looting every single house. I also want to stress that you'll want to be strategic with how you prep. If you have a free perk mission, then try to buy a perk first so that you'll get a more expensive perk for free. Same with the Ether Wrench. If you can upgrade your weapon, then do it first, and then your gun will be even higher once you get your free upgrade. The bottom line is spawn in and try to loot like crazy for the first 3 worlds, and then once you're done with that, now we can move on to step 2. Okay, once you reach World 3, you'll want to do the main objective for the world to get started. This is where the whole Easter egg actually starts, so once you've finished looting World 3 and you've done the main objective, let's go over how this egg actually gets started. So step 1 is to find the hidden radio on whatever map you're on, and then tune the radio into the correct station in order to get the beacon upgrade device. So first I'm going to show you how the radio step actually works, and then I'll go over every single location for the radios on each map. And just a reminder that this will be timestamped below in case you need to return to this part of the guide later on. Okay, to do the radio step, you need to activate the radio that has a static frequency projecting from it, and then figure out what channel it's set to. In my game, it was channel 7, but this will be random in every single game. If your radio says feedback, then you'll have to kill a horde of zombies after they spawn in order to make the radio work again. Now, once you have your first radio activated and you know what channel it's set to, you'll need to now find the other 3 radios and tune them into that channel. They might have feedback as well, so you'll have to keep clearing the horde until you can get all 3 radios tuned in. Once that's done, return to the main radio and then listen to the full signal to contact Samantha. This will then pop out the beacon device, so make sure that you grab that before moving on. Now, before I cover the next step, here's a look at every single map's radio's locations. So starting with Golova, as you can see, it's in the top right quadrant of the map, and the radio is going to be here on top of this stack of pallets. The first sub radio is going to be over here in this little shed on these pallets. And the second sub radio is going to be over here next to this hay bale on this little barn thing right here across the cornfield. And then the third and final sub radio is going to be up the hill underneath the mill right here in between these 2 concrete walls. Now moving on to Ruka, the radio is going to be on the left side of the map over here by the Pack-a-Punch building. It's going to be in the green tent right here. After that, the first sub radio is going to be in the house next to it. It's going to be upstairs in the attic section on top of this bed. Once you've gotten that one, the second sub radio is going to be in this shack between the green tent and the Pack-a-Punch building right there. And the third and final sub radio is going to be in the cabin behind these couple buildings out here on top of this table. Next, let's move on to Sanatorium. It's going to be below the giant circle satellite building, the Sanatorium, and it's going to be here at the base of the statue is the main radio right here. The first sub radio is going to be right beside it underneath the stairwell right here. The second sub radio is going to be up the hill just a little bit, and you'll see this retaining wall right here. Just climb up and you'll see it on the ground right here. And then for the final sub radio, it's going to be down the hill actually, and it's going to be in this grass patch right here next to this pillar right here. Now moving on to Duga, the radio is going to be in the top right corner in this quadrant right here, and it's going to be on top of these blue barrels next to this green truck. The first sub radio is going to be up in this green tower on the ground right there. The second sub radio is going to be next to the giant yellow hangar, and it's going to be on the ground next to the wall right here. And then for the final sub radio, it's going to be in this shack back here, the green shack on top of this filing cabinet. Now to move on to our final map, Alpine, the radio is going to be in the lower right corner. On these ski runs, actually, you'll see these yellow pump things right here, and the radio will be on top of this frozen box. For the first sub radio, it's going to be to the right over here. You'll see this little cliff. Just follow it, and then you'll find it right up against the other cliff right here. For the second radio, go back, double back to the main radio, and then head over to the cliff right over here, and then look straight down. And you'll have to drop down, and you'll find it on this cliff's ledge right here. And for the third and final sub radio, it's going to be up the hill a little bit, and you'll see this shack right here. Just hop inside, and it'll be on the ground right there. All right, now that I've covered all the radio locations, let's get back to this Easter egg. So once you've gotten your beacon device from the radio, now make your way back to the beacon and then place it on the beacon and select the respond option. And now you're welcome to teleport to World 4. Once you're on World 4, you're going to be covering a lot of ground here. So first you'll want to do the main objective and all the side objectives. Your goal here is to have your M16 at least pack 2 with around 15,000 of points left to spare. Most, if not all your perks, armor to tier 2, weapon tier 3 or 4, and your AAT purchased. You're also going to most likely have a wonder weapon opportunity on this world. Before moving on to the next step, you'll want to get as looted as possible, so let's talk wonder weapon. So the ray gun is by far the best one, however the ray K is also pretty good. Now the dye weapon will not be good for the boss, so stay away from that one. Now how do you get this? Well, there's a few ways. The Orda World event is a really good way to do this, or the lightning chest that drop from the sky. Other than that, you might just have to wait until one of the bunker steps. Now, it's not mandatory that you get the ray gun, but it is going to make the solo boss fight just a whole lot easier. So I would do everything humanly possible to try to get a ray gun. Alright, so once World 4 is looted and you've upgraded as much as you can for now, you'll need to make a decision. If you think that you'll need more than 350 blue salvage to finish upgrading and buying a death machine, then you'll just want to progress to World 5 and then start the next step there. However, you shouldn't have to if you've been looting properly. So if you think that you'll be able to finish setting up by World 5, let's move on to the next step. But I also want to stress that if you do decide to go on to an extra world and loot, then the boss fight will just be that much stronger, so keep it in mind when deciding. This is why I stress the early looting so much. Alright, moving on to the next step after teleporting and looting. So there are 4 stone monkeys on the map, and you need to find the one with the letter M that's scratched next to it, and then shoot that one and pick up the projector slide. And now, just like the radios, let's go over every single monkey spawn for each map before moving on to the next step. So starting with Alpine, the first monkey can be found here on the bottom right corner. It's going to be in this red house right here. It's going to be on the lower floor on the right side on top of this shelf. For the second monkey, it's going to be behind the bathhouse in the lower middle section of the map. And it's going to be up in the top floor, and it's going to be on this shelf in the back right here. For the third monkey, it's going to be on the far left side of the map. It's going to be the second house of the green ones, and it's going to be behind the lodge. So go in this house, and then this monkey will be located upstairs. Go through the bedroom, and it'll be on the back porch behind the doorway. For the fourth monkey, it's going to be on the top of the map. It's going to be behind the 3 gas pumps right here on the very, very edge of the map. So go behind the gas pumps, and you'll see it on the ground right here. Next, move on to Duga, and the first monkey is going to be found in the bunkers right here. It's in the middle bunker, and it's going to be on top of this blue barrel. The next monkey can be found in the top right section of the map. It's going to be behind this little sign right here with the 2 orange pallets. It's going to be on top of this thing right here. The next one can be found in the bottom left corner. It's going to be in the circle area on the map, and then it's going to be on top of this little ticket booth right here next to these air vents. And for the last monkey on Duga, it can be found by the bus stop. It's going to be on the exterior wall in the back corner right here on the ground. Moving on to Golova, the first monkey is in the top left corner. It's going to be in the horse farm, and go to the L-shaped barn, and you'll find it on top of the rafters right here. The next monkey can be found on the far left side in the train factory area, and it's going to be up this ladder right here. And then once you're in the building, it'll be on this left side right here on the ground. For the next monkey, it can be found in the giant church at the very top of the hill. Go all the way up into the top scaffolding, and once you're in the very top floor, then look behind you, and you'll see it right here on top of this pillar. For the fourth and final monkey, it's on the far right side, bottom right corner, and it's going to be in this little building right here on this top shelf. Now let's move on to Ruka. The first monkey you can find is over here on the top right section of the map, and it's going to be over here next to this stacks of wood, tucked away in this back corner. The next monkey can be found all the way to the right next to the bridge. It's going to be actually underneath the bridge, right here where the grass touches the edge of the bridge. The next monkey can be found in the top left quadrant next to the quarry, and it's going to be next to this abandoned truck right here by the hood. The next monkey can be found in the bottom left section just outside the boss fight arena, and it's going to be found in this little lone shelf or shed right here on top of this shelf right here. Now let's move on to Sanatorium. The first monkey is in the far left side of the map, and it's going to be in this abandoned shack in the very back of the map on top of this shelf. The next monkey is going to be in the top middle section of the map. It's going to be actually in the same building that the projector is in that we'll get to in just a moment. But if you go inside this building, it's going to be on the second floor, so go up the stairs. And once you're upstairs, make your way to the back left room back here. And it's actually going to be on the left side on top of this bookshelf. For the next monkey, it's going to be next to the bridge, the far right bridge on the map in the water. And if you go to this bridge, you go to the left side of it, and then jump down into the water, and once you swim across the first support beams, you'll find it on the ground right here. For the next monkey, it's going to be on the bottom middle section of the map. I believe this is the bathhouse on this map. Go inside of this building, and then you'll find the monkey up here on the rafters. It's a little bit hard to spot it, but it's if you look right here, you'll see it right there. And that covers all the monkey spawns. So now let's move on to what to do with your projector slides. So there's a special projector on every map except for Ruka. So unfortunately, if you're on Ruka, then you'll have to teleport to the next world. But once you find your projector, you want to place the slides into the projector and then progress through until Sam stops talking to you. It should be about 3 slides worth. And now let's go over all of the projector locations. So starting with Alpine, you're going to want to make your way to the bottom of the map where the lodge is. If you're looking at the map, it's on the bottom side of the lodge. And you'll just have to get inside and then go to the upper floor. I think it's the second floor in total. And then make your way to the end of the hall where you're going to find this other staircase. At the top of that, you'll find the projector hidden in this bedroom. All right, now moving on to Golova. It's going to be in the town square on the right side at the top of the hill. Hop into this building right here, and you'll find it in this room right here. Next, moving on to Duga, it's going to be on the L-shaped building with the giant statue out front. This is also where the anomaly can spawn. Go inside this building, and it's going to be on the 3rd floor in the conference room. Now, I apologize for this one and for the next one. I actually didn't have footage of the projector. My game kept crashing, and so I'm just going to show you exactly where it is. Fortunately enough, this room had a projector. So moving on to Sanatorium, it's going to be in the same room that monkey was in earlier, but it's going to be on the bottom floor this time, and it's going to be in this conference room. So right here on the end of this table, you'll find the projector sitting right there. Okay, now with the projector step finished, you're almost done. So now make your way back to the beacon and teleport to World 5. This should automatically take you to the map Ruka, and a star should appear over the rocket pads on the map. At this point, you're going to want to get fully upgraded by looting by doing all the side objectives and looting the houses. Before proceeding, you should have the following: Tier 3 armor, a death machine, a triple packed M16 that's also at legendary, and a triple packed ray gun, and then all of your perks. If you're missing something, you will be able to get around 200 blue salvage. I've even gotten up to like 350 blue salvage in the bunker, and theoretically you can get infinite points. However, I recommend you be maxed out before the bunker in order for the ease of doing the Easter egg. But when you feel like you've gotten as prepared as possible, then make your way to the missile silos, which is marked by the star on your map. Then step onto the elevator and start your journey to the center of the earth. Now, before I go over the bunker section of this egg, here's a look at the map of this area to help visualize this area better. It's dark and everything looks the same, so hopefully this helps clear up how it's laid out. It has the center area, which is what I'm calling home base, and then 3 silos that are active, A, B, and D. The C silo is not accessible. There's 2 floors in total, and then a staircase leading to the surface from the center or home base. Resources are spread out all over the silos, and so I've marked them on this map as well. Alright, so let's go over how to start this bunker off properly. I'm going to speed up the footage just because I'm just running around and killing a lot, but basically what you want to do is get to the top and get to the home base section of the map. There's going to be enemies scattered throughout the world, so you're going to want to clear them out and just kind of familiarize yourself. I would take this opportunity to really learn the layout of the maps because the zombies are not really spawning in indefinitely at this point, they're just kind of hanging out. So this is a great time to get familiar with everything. So as you can see, the silos are marked with their letters above the doorways to each thing, and we're currently in the home base. So once you're ready, then drop down to the bottom of the A silo, come over here to this red tunnel over here, and you're going to see an essence trap like there was on Firebase sitting beside that blue barrel, and then pick that up. Now come over here to this terminal and start up the cutscene. Okay, once the cutscene is over, you're going to be tasked with finding 3 keys. This can be very hectic, so I've worked out the smoothest way to do this. So first you'll spawn at the top of the B silo, and you're going to want to kill all the zombies around you until the spawns slow down. Now you're going to go to the home base area of this map, and there's going to be a bunch of mimics, probably around 40 different mimics. So what you're going to want to do is go into the home base and then just make 1 lap around the circle of the home base, and then exit back out into the B silo, where then you can train up all the mimics and kill them on either the top or the bottom floor based on your preference. This is going to eliminate the mimics and make this so much easier for you to do the first key. Once you've killed all the mimics, then go back to the home base area and then clear out these zombies that are lurking in that area. Once you kill everything, then go to where the C silo is and then interact with the guy on the floor. This is going to spawn in a red mimic by the name of Rizarkon the Twisted. You'll want to bring him back to the silo B and then kill him the same way you did with the other 40 mimics. Once he's dead, then you'll be able to pick up the first key from his body, and now we can move on to the second key. For the second key, you're going to make your way to the A silo. You're first going to want to clear out all the zombies on the top and bottom floor as much as you can, and then you're going to start looking for the ghost monkey in the wall vents. When you see the monkey, throw your essence trap that you picked up earlier about 5 feet off the wall but below the vent. You basically want it to land close to the vent, but somewhere that you can still grab when you walk by. Once it's thrown, then run away and then wait for the prompt to double tap square or X and then capture the monkey. If done properly, then the second key should be in your trap so that you can pick that up. Okay, now to move on to the third and final key. Make your way to Silo B and then go to the bottom floor after clearing out the silo of the zombies. Once at the bottom, then you're going to look for the terminals on the wall and you should see a red Ethereum canister on the floor. Activate it and now you'll need to collect 20 crystal shards and deposit them into the canister. The best way to do this is to train at the bottom of the B silo and then harvest the couple of clusters of crystals over and over until you reach 20 shards. They respawn about every 30 seconds, so it won't take that long. So to do this, shoot the crystals and then pick up the shards and then go deposit them into the canister. To deposit, you'll only want to do a couple at a time because you have to hold square or X to do it, and you just won't have time to do all 20 when the zombies keep spawning. Once all 20 shards are in, then wait about a minute for the canister to process and then pick it up. Now use the zip line to get to the top, otherwise the zombies will most likely trap you on the stairs now that every zombie is targeted specifically to you. Now make your way over to the D silo and then go to the staircase overlooking the jellyfish. Activate the field upgrade of the canister while standing inside the seaweed and you'll start to levitate over the jellyfish. You'll want to grab the third key off of the second body inside the jellyfish, and that will finish off our keys and we can start this final step of the Easter egg. Okay, at this point, you'll want to get a top off of armor, pack-a-punch, perks, as well as take the time to craft 2 monkey bombs for the boss fight, because there's no going back once you start this step to stock up. So for this step, you'll want to activate each silo's launch pad in a specific order. The order is random every single game, so you might have to try multiple times to figure out what your order is. If you fail, a horde of zombies are going to spawn in, and the pads have a cooldown of 1 minute before you can try again. So at the top of each silo, you're going to see terminals that have a prompt near them to activate the launch sequence. Pressing it starts a countdown, and you'll want to sprint from silo to silo, otherwise you just won't make it. Once you activate all 3 silos in the correct order, make your way back up to home base and then go to the stairs that lead out to the surface. You're going to have to hold off the zombies at the door until it lets you open it. From here, you have about 8.5 minutes to kill the boss, so do not stay in the silo because the timer does start and you'll be wasting boss fight time. But once you're in the arena, then the boss fight is going to start. Okay, let's go over this boss fight strategy. It's actually much easier than you might think. Ether Shroud is going to save you so much struggle. So first, the boss can only be damaged by hitting the blue crystal in his chest. After enough damage, then he'll be stunned, and 3 orbs will appear beside him, similar to the Brutus boss on Blood of the Dead, and then after breaking all 3 orbs, you will kill the boss. His attacks primarily range in the corners of the arena, so you're going to want to stay in the middle. If you aren't able to kill him in the time allotted, then you're going to fail the boss fight, so you'll be needing to damage him as frequently as possible. Alright, so as for the easy strat, here's what you're going to want to do. As soon as he spawns in, shoot his chest with the most powerful weapon you have as much as you can until the zombies spawn in. After that, you'll want to run circles around the middle of the arena and train the horde. Every chance you get, you're going to want to shoot the boss in the chest until he's stunned. At that point, you want to swap to your M16 and then use your Ether Shroud to then shoot the orbs. You're going to want to shoot 7 bursts with the M16 into one of the orbs and it will break. Now you'll just have to repeat that 2 more times and the boss is going to be dead. To build your shroud back up, you're going to want to use brain rot or your monkey bombs. You should have no problem doing that with how fast shroud fills up. So just keep hitting the boss and then using Ether Shroud until the orbs break and then he dies. Also, another tip, for the phase 3 part of this boss fight, his attacks will become more frequent and generally the fight just feels more intense. So it's a good idea to run the train first and focus on the boss second if you're having trouble. You only need about 1.5 minutes to break an orb, so don't panic and go down if you're struggling and you still have several minutes left. If you do down though, you have a self-revive, you have quick revive, you have tombstone to get back into the fight. So just train big circles and try to damage the boss as much as you can and don't panic. The Ether Shroud and the M16 are going to do the rest. After beating him, you should earn the Dark Ops calling card and you should be pretty proud of yourself because this is not an easy boss fight. But that is going to wrap up my solo Easter egg guide for Outbreak. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that it helps you get this completed. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this Easter egg or zombies in general, and I'll do my best to answer them. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Absoulem, and I hope to see you in my next video.